Both marriage and singleness are holy callings. Both are used by God to point the world to Him. God also uses single parents. There are advantages and disadvantages to each of the choices: singleness, marriage without children, and marriage with children. Sometimes these things are not a choice, but God can still use them. Let's specifically talk about singleness.
When you are single, you're able to make decisions about your time and money alone. There are not as many commitments at home to keep you busy. You have more availability to help someone at a moment's notice. You may even be more available to the privilege of caring for aging parents. You understand other single people and you have more time to mentor, serve, or act as a bridge in ministry, perhaps between singles and married or the young and the old. However, there can be some disadvantages too.
Some single people struggle with loneliness. They don't have someone to help with decisions. Some people may make assumptions that they have less of a life and can be called on at any time. It can be hard not to have a steady partner to minister with, and there's less income when it's just one person.
Understanding the advantages and disadvantages is important to help make wise decisions for your future. From a biblical point of view, all of these are acceptable options.
Unfortunately, American culture has negative stereotypes of single adults. There's that crazy cat lady or the 30-something bachelor who lives in his parents' basement, or promiscuous people who sleep with someone they've just met. So it's important to look at good examples. We need godly married couples and godly single people to be good examples of what it means to be disciples of Jesus.
The world teaches us to be self-centered, indifferent, inconsistent, judgmental, stingy, proud, and self-indulgent. Godly attributes, however, mean we are available, compassionate, dependable, discerning, generous, humble, and have self-control. We can choose godly living in all of our relationships, whether single or married or parents.
Divorce has impacted a lot of people. We can still choose holiness. This means loving people who have been hurt by the effects of divorce. The truth is, nobody is perfect. Marriage is the union of two imperfect people. They will make mistakes. Sometimes they might sin against each other. Whenever possible, struggling couples should get help from skilled Christian counselors to find ways to resolve their issues. Sadly, sometimes relationships are over. They cannot be fixed. When this happens, God doesn't abandon the people involved, especially when they are most vulnerable. We, the church, shouldn't either.
In other words, we affirm God's design for marriage. We recognize that some marriages end in divorce, and our job is to love those affected by it. Our job is also to love people, whether they are married or single, whether they have children or they don't. God has a place for everyone in His kingdom.